From New York City, this is Entertainment Weekly, the show. This week, we're hanging with fun mom Toni Collette, getting real with the cast of Detroit, and tweaking our emoji game with TJ Miller. Plus, the latest Entertainment Weekly cover is all about Will and Grace, and we're going all in on late 90s nostalgia. Yes, I'm not Deborah messing around, people, because the show starts now. Welcome to the show. There's a lot going on right now, so let's take a look at some headlines, shall we? As we know, Will and Grace is on the cover of EW this week, and the cast of this classic sitcom is reuniting for a 10-episode run on NBC this fall. And fans are so happy they're doing this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jack McFarland.
Yes, Jack McFarland. People actually are so hungry for nostalgia, they're reuniting everything these days. They're even killing off characters to have old shows reunite within new shows, like Kevin Can Wait did. Apparently, Kevin couldn't wait. Yeah. All right. You can see the Will and Grace gang before the premiere on the EW Reunites Will and Grace special streaming on Penn. Next up, HBO was hacked this week, resulting in a leak that allowed fans to see upcoming episodes of Ballers, Room 104, and see scripts for upcoming Game of Thrones episodes. Now, no one's sure how this happened, but luckily HBO has their best detectives on the case.
You have no idea what you cost me.
No. They're best detectives.
It's coming from my files, Marty.
Yes, Woody Harrelson with the tackle. All right, Mahershala, season 3, do not let me down. Do not let me down. All right, next up, MTV has announced plans to do away with their Moon Man trophy in favor of a Moon Person. The network, who's gearing up to launch a revamped version of Total Request Live, said it could be a man, it could be a woman, it could be transgender, it could be nonconformist, it could be a publicity stunt. Okay, they didn't say that last part. Anyway, as long as it has little to do with actual music videos as possible. Yeah, no music. All right, some people are surprisingly sad about losing the Moon Man, like this guy.
I love you! Go, Harry, wait a minute!
Should have won an Oscar for that. Anyway, Ryan Reynolds released his first look at Zazie Beetz as Domino in Deadpool 2. I'm sure there's no chance Deadpool will have something witty to say about that.
Did I leave the stove on?
Oh, Deadpool, never change. Wait, did I leave the stove on? Let's take a break so I can check. I'll be right back. I'll be right back with more show, I promise. Did I? I'm here here with the star of the new film, Fun Mom Dinner, the legendary Toni Collette. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about your new film. I feel like this is a documentary, watching it.
I love you for saying that because when I read it, I felt like, yeah, I know these women. This is real life. This is a real representation of what it is like to be a mum and be in the world and balance everything. And they go out and have this kind of adventure where they remember themselves. Because I think being a mother, you're a mom, like it's a very beautiful, profound, challenging, selfless position to be in. And to go out and kind of regain or retain that sense of self and kind of connect with other people and yourself again is really important. It's essential because then you're a better mom too.
When you read this script, do you immediately say to yourself, I have to be a part of this?
I did. I was sent the script. I was shooting another film in Toronto. I was in my hotel room. I thought it was really late. I had to get up early. I thought I'll just take a peek at it, and I couldn't stop. And that's always a telltale sign. And also they sent, well, two things. Naomi Scott and Adam Scott were some of the producers, and I'd worked with Adam on Krampus, so they sent it directly to me. But the director, Alethea Jones, she's a first-time feature filmmaker. But in Australia, there's this, I think it's the biggest short film festival in the world, actually. It's called Tropfest, and I was on the jury one year, and she won. So to have her have this opportunity and to be able to work with her in that way it was just like we came full circle.
That's
She's such a sweetheart.
Full circle moment. I love that. And it was written by Julie Rudd, correct?
Yes.
Okay. There's some lines in there that feel like they're ripped from the pages of my life. One in particular, it's not babysitting if it's your kid, it's parenting. I feel like I said that to my husband yesterday.
Yeah, I think maybe a lot of mothers feel that way. My husband is very, very hands-on. He's a brilliant father, so I've never had to utter those words. But it's very common, right?
A lot of these moms aren't your traditional moms.
Film moms,
yeah,
right.
film moms.
I have played a lot of mums in films, and over the years, it has really peeved me that everyone prefaces my role by saying, so you play a mom and she does this, whatever. I'm like, you would never go to John Hamm and say, so in Mad Men, you play a dad who also works. It's like so imbalanced. So I just loved that there was this kind of really empowering film about what it really is to be a mum. And I don't think the film is just for mums. I think the men are really well represented in the film as well. And not that being a man, you need to see other men in the film, because plenty of women go to see movies where, men are the stars. I think men will get a lot out of this and can relate to these female characters. But also, I was thinking, like, as a younger woman, I would love to see these women, like older women with kids. Like, even when you're in your 20s, you think they're ancient, but they're really badass, man. They really know how to live, and they're complicated and wonderful. And so I think as a younger woman, I would have appreciated seeing this film.
They know how to live, and they know how to karaoke too.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. Can we talk about that karaoke scene? How fun was it to film that?
I mean, it was excellent. The film it's called Fun Mum Dinner, so it was a lot of night shoots. Not Fun Mum Brunch, no days in there. We had one day. And the karaoke scene was something most of us were looking forward to because a lot of us love karaoke, but Katie was petrified. She hates singing in public, and she had to sing in front of Adam Levine, so she was doubly petrified. But it was fun. It's and that song, we are of the age of these, these kids, a realistic age, and these women love songs from the 80s. So 99 Love Balloons is like, is an actual turn-on song for me. I actually love it and gets me pumped.
It seems like Hollywood is actually waking up to the fact that women like to have fun, that women can be raunchy, that women like to have a good time.
That women can be everything, and that women want to see women in film. They want to. I think ultimately, when you go to a movie, you want to see yourself. You want to have your feelings validated. You want to connect, and it's almost like a narcissistic pastime. But I think. We live in a society where people are mostly ostracized, and storytelling is a way to connect and understand ourselves as human beings and culturally, society on the whole. And I think, people have made a lot of noise over the last few years about how imbalanced the stories that are being told have been. The characters that they've, there's a lot of films about guys, and this summer alone, there have been so many films where women are at the helm, on screen and off camera as well.
I want to talk about a Boy. Did you have any idea it would become such a classic?
No.
Yeah, you didn't.
No, you don't know. I mean, you do your best at the time, and you enjoy the experience, and you make some friends, and you have some fun, and you can never determine how a film's going to be received. I think the one kind of exception to that rule is probably The Sixth Sense, where there was just a weird feeling of that it was something special, something was going to happen with it. But no, it's very hard to determine.
Toni, thanks so much for being here. Fun Mom Dinner is in theaters August 4th. Check it out. here with a lovely actress from the movie The Dark Tower, Katheryn Winnick. Welcome, Katheryn.
Thank you for having me.
How you doing?
Good,
Okay, so let's
good.
talk Stephen King. You're starring in The Dark Tower.
Yes.
You're a huge Stephen King fan.
I am.
So when they say Stephen King, you say, yes?
hell yeah. No, of course. Obviously, you know, I love The Shining, and Shawshank Redemption is one of my favorite movies ever. I think I've watched that movie probably like 15 times, and each time I watch it, I'm still like, what's gonna happen? Even though I know what's gonna happen.
Andy, will you make it out?
It is amazing. But of course, you know, when I heard that this took almost 8 years to make, I needed to be a part of it. And Idris Elba, I'm a huge Idris Elba fan, and Matthew McConaughey. It's my second movie with him, so I got a chance to work with him again. And we shot this in Cape Town, and it's coming out on Friday. You better go see it.
I'm going to play a game called Co-Star Crush.
Co-Star Crush.
So you will tell me how they crush it. Shall we?
Crush it.
How
Okay,
they
let's
crush
go.
it.
Let's go.
All right. Let's start with a little-known actor named Idris Elba.
Ooh.
Yeah, no one's really ever heard of him, but I think he's about to blow
No one's
up.
ever heard of it. You know, he's so charismatic. I got a chance to meet him. I think it was in the parking lot, and he comes out of his car, and he's just so tall when you see him in person. And oh, he's so charming. And I've been a huge fan of his and his TV shows, and just to get a chance to meet him in person. And I was so bummed when I found out my character was not actually directly working with him, but man, that guy has it going on.
You're like, I quit.
Yeah.
What's the point? Okay, Matthew McConaughey.
McConaughey. What's not to like? It's Matthew McConaughey. He is amazing. How can you not crush on him? I did a movie with him, actually, Failure to Launch, years ago.
Right, yes.
And I play his girlfriend in a movie. So the first time I met him, I had to jump into bed with him. So this is the second time I get a chance to work with him. And he's just so rich in terms of an actor, surprising another actor, and so much fun to work with. Just his stare is just, and his voice is just, you can't help but just be like mesmerized.
All right, Abby Lee.
Ooh, Abby, you know, I just met her for the first time yesterday. She was at the premiere. I didn't get a chance to work with her because my scenes were, again, in New York. But to meet her in person, she's just such a cool girl.
Last, Tom Taylor.
Oh my gosh, well, I can't really say celebrity crush or crush on him because he plays my son.
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say is he definitely evolved as, well, not only just physically. We started the movie, he was this high, and now seeing him yesterday, he's taller than me.
Those
I mean,
growth
they're wearing
spurts.
heels. It's crazy within 1 year. It's crazy how kids grow up so fast, and just to see him now turn into a man, and his voice has changed. He's just such a talented actor, and I think everybody is just going to be so in it with him and rooting for him, and you will see all his talent on display on the big theater.
Thanks, Katheryn. Thanks so much for being here. The Dark Tower is in theaters everywhere, August 4th. And now for a word from What Would Diplo Do star James Van Der Beek.
Hi, I'm James Van Der Beek, and I've been acting for over 57 years. I want to tell you about a few of the projects that I've been in over the years in a segment called Let's Take a Van Der Peek. Really? Van Der Peek. That's what we want to go with? Van Der Peek. All right, let's take a Van Der Peek. As the world turns, I got a job to do 2 days on As the World Turns when I was 17, and I worked 2 14-hour days, and I made $800. And then the union rep from AFTRA caught up with me and said I had to join AFTRA, which cost me $834. So I had a net loss of $34 for 2 days of work on As the World Turns.
You should be thanking me. I mean, this is the chance you've wanted your whole life, right?
Angus was my first major feature film, my first feature film ever. It was a big studio movie, and I was like the bully. I think I was like number 3 in the call sheet, and I'd never been in a film set before. And then everybody told me, be prepared, your life is gonna change when this comes out. I was like, great, I'm ready for my life to change. And the movie came out and did no business at all, and nothing changed. I was still going to the same auditions, knocking on the same doors.
Coach, there's a minute and a half left. Let me throw something. I ain't interested in another turnover. Get out there.
Varsity Blues was such a crazy time of my life. It was my first big lead of a studio movie. John Voight is missing that chip in his brain that the rest of us have that makes us think, I wonder what other people are going to think about this. There's a scene they're putting the needle in Wendell's knee, and I'm in the doorway, and I'm talking to him, and I'm making this speech, and it's starting to sound a little bit like a speech. John looks at me, walks up, and starts to shut the door in my face, like in the middle of the speech. And I'm like, so I bang the door open with my arm, and I get through the rest of the speech. But at that point, he turned around and he goes, "It's good to do that." Just to see that, like, not only could John do what he does and accomplish what he needs to do on set, but he's also looking out for everybody and assisting everybody else and, like, just setting it up so that other people can spike it down. I remember thinking, that's the kind of actor I want to be one day.
I really did try to kill myself.
Rules of Attraction was a really wild set. Remember the second or third day of shooting was when we did that split screen shot. And it's me on one side of the screen and Shannon Sossaman on the other. In order to get the two shots to blend together, we had a camera that was on a motion track, and it was timed so that 1 minute and 34 seconds after action, it would turn like that. And so we had to time the entire scene. And it was a really ballsy move to have, like, the whole relationship kind of dependent on that shot. And it totally worked.
DiCaprio died in Titanic. That is, go, baby, go!
One Tree Hill came at what I might describe as a quiet time in my career. And I got this offer to go back to Wilmington, North Carolina, where we actually shot Dawson's Creek. And at first I was like, I don't know. And then I thought, no, I really want to go back there. That would be a lot of fun. So I did. And then I ended up doing like 4 episodes.
You don't see it?
See what?
Look a little to the left.
Don't trust the bee in apartment 23. That was fun. I got offered that because I had parodied myself in some Funny or Die videos. I said to Anashka Khan, who created the show, you can't, there's only one rule I have. You can't ever be afraid of insulting me. I pitched this storyline where I go on the fake Dancing with the Stars, and I asked for a really inappropriately low V-neck, so it came down about here, and it's like, oh, that's sparkly stars on it. I'm about to go on, I'm thinking this is gonna be really funny, but then it also occurred to me, because we just had my son, Google is a thing. I'm really hoping this image is buried pretty deep in the Google search.
Yo, where's the coffee at? Oh, shit.
What would Diplo do? When you think James Van Der Beek, you obviously think DJ, which is what Brandon Dermer actually thought. Brandon Dermer was asked to make a commercial for the Mad Decent Block Party, which is Diplo's tour. He thought, what if James played Diplo instead of Wes, who actually is Diplo? Viceland came to us and said, we think this is a series. And I said, it's not a series, guys. This is just a one-off idea. There's no way to sustain it. And then I very quickly realized that I was wrong, to the point where I said, I think I can write this. Let me write it, let me run it, I'll star in it, we can go make it. And Viceland was like, well, yeah, duh. Watch What Would Diplo Do, airing Thursdays at 10 p.m. on Viceland.
Welcome back. I'm here with Will Poulter, Algee Smith, and Kaitlyn Dever from the new film Detroit. Welcome to the show, guys. Larry Reed is the character that you play. He was a real-life person. Yeah. He was part of a group called the Dramatics, ends up in the wrong place at the wrong time, and finds himself in the middle of, one, a Detroit riot, and 2, in the midst of the clutches of racist, sadistic cops.
Yeah. So I'll of course let my castmates speak further on it, but like you're saying, this movie centers around the 1967 riots in Detroit, specifically focuses on the Algiers Motel incident where 3 young black men lost their lives due to police brutality. And so, as you're saying, Larry tries to find safety, and he goes to the Algiers Motel thinking that's where he can be safe, but really that's the worst place that he could end up.
And Will, your character, unfortunately, is not empathetic at all. He's both racist and sadistic. How do you humanize a character like that? And when you look at a script, you either, I'm assuming, run towards something like that or run away from it. You chose to run towards it. Why?
Sure. First of all, I think I was kind of you know, enthused with a lot of confidence just because of Katheryn's confidence, and I think because everyone around me, you know, cast and crew included, were really, really keen to tell this story, you know, in the most accurate and kind of like brave, unapologetic way as possible. You know, I think our main goal across the board was to try and, as best we could and as much as possible, do justice to the truth of the matter and the facts that we had available to us. When it comes to representing, you know, a character like that, it's hard to find anything human about them. I think he's about as close to a kind of monster as you can get. And, you know, there's like sort of cosmic evil, and then there's, you know, the evil that as humans we unfortunately have the capacity to sort of perform. And for me, it was important that he still felt human and not on the other side of that kind of human monster line, because it was important to recognize this as being not only a person that existed in 1967, but also identify him as a person that unfortunately exists today. And we can't afford to have racist individuals, you know, operating in society, period, but particularly not in positions of power. And there should be absolutely no place for those individuals when we're talking about law enforcement.
As you were shooting this film, real-life incidences of police brutality were unfolding in the news.
Yeah.
How did that inform the work that you all were doing on set? How did real life impact the art?
You know, there were a lot of instances where we were on set and these things were happening as we were shooting. So it made everything that we were doing more real. And it made me think about how important it is to tell this story and why I wanted to be a part of it in the first place, and why I think it's so amazing that Katheryn took on something so important.
Both of your characters are still alive, correct?
Yeah, well, Hannah Murray plays Julie, and the real Julie Heisel is still alive.
Still alive.
Yeah.
And your character, you actually met with him for about 3 hours. What was that like for you to meet with him, and what did he make of you playing him in real life?
So yeah, I didn't get to meet him until literally the last week of shooting the whole movie. I applaud Katheryn for that, because the type of person that I am, when I go into research, especially on a real life character, I'm gonna study everything about that person. So if I would have met him before, I would have done all my research. But when I did meet him, I went to his house and he opened up his door and he just bust out laughing in my face.
Why?
I was just like, I just started laughing with him, like we were just laughing, but he was just like, you know, they did real good with you. You gonna play me real good, like I can see it. But it just brought joy to his heart for them to get that right. And you know, we sat on his couch and we had like a 3-hour conversation. I still remember he let me feel, even where his skull is still cracked and the gashes that he had. He showed me pictures of him back in the day with the dramatics, and just a lot of memorabilia that he still has.
How do you ensure that you are able to maintain some semblance of fun or some semblance of happiness when you're dealing with something that is this heavy?
Whatever we went through, you know, is a drop in the ocean compared to what the people, you know, who are being represented, you know, experience, particularly when we talk about the victims. And, you know, for me, it was just, at times, it was just hard not to feel massively overwhelmed by how powerful the performances from these guys were, you know?
You mentioned Katheryn Bigelow, the director. To me, it's clear that this is more than entertainment for her. She wants to really drive the conversation about police brutality, about race. What sorts of things did she tell you about that offset?
She tells this story all the time, where she was inspired by, unfortunately, the death of Michael Brown, and when she really started to dive into the story and get more information about it. But she is really on the side that, not even as just a black man, but because he's on the side and she's on the side that we're all on, of this is truth, no matter what color we are, and this is injustice, and that's what it is.
There's Oscar buzz already. That must feel great, right? To have it be this well received already, huh?
It's definitely so, it's crazy. It's so crazy. And a project like this, I felt that no one had a big head on set, and no one was expecting, oh, okay, we're making this movie to get an Oscar, or so that people will recognize us. You know, it wasn't about that ever, I thought.
Yeah, no, I agree. That was, and that's what's so beautiful about it, because when you don't, I feel like when you put your, like Kaitlyn said, when you put your energy towards that, then that's when things kind of, none of us were even thinking about that. We all were just thinking of leaving our souls on that set every day, and really coming off of that set with nothing left. And I think that mindset for us is what brings every other blessing. But that wasn't even in our heads to even be considered as that. We were just trying to get the story right, to be honest.
Let's talk about the music really quickly, Algee.
Yeah.
The soundtrack's pretty nice, right? Yeah. Do you have a favorite song?
Well,
I do.
Okay.
It's called Grow. It's available at the moment.
No, you know what's crazy though?
I like that.
It
That's
just blew my
nice,
mind,
right?
though.
So talented.
It's true though.
I started. It made me and my producer for that song. We were just in tears when we found out that Katheryn was really blessing us to be able to put that song on there, because if you look at that soundtrack, there's classics on there, like Motown classics. And then you just look at the little Algee Smith name in there, and it's just like, what the hell? But it's the music in this film is so important because it gives a sense of tranquility.
It's like
in the
another
midst of
character.
chaos. Yeah, and so it allows people to just kind of relax for just a second, a little bitty second, and takes you back and okay, this is what, this feels good right before you get back into all the drama. But music was so vital at that time. I don't think you could have done this story without the music element of it.
You care to sing us to break?
Oh, Lord.
Come on. You were Ralph Tresvant last time you were here and you sang us to break, so you got to do it
Look in
again.
my eyes and don't you see water, and it's all because of you. I said, look at me, I ain't acting like I oughta, and it's all because of you. Oh, you gotta watch Detroit.
That was awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, Will, Kaitlyn, your turn.
I'm actually, I think that's what we got time for.
they have to.
I'd love to, but really got to get to that break. So.
Gotta go.
Right, you're fine. I'm definitely not ruining this whole thing right now.
Guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Detroit is in theaters everywhere August 4th. Check it out. Actor and comedian TJ Miller dropped by recently and ran us through a gamut of emojis and also channeled a pirate for some reason. Take a look.
Hello there, I'm TJ Miller from the Emoji Movie. I did a ton of research for this film, so I'm going to use my expert knowledge to weigh in on some emojis and give my reviews. Here we go.
Meh. The meh emoji is the star of the Emoji Movie, and so I plead the fifth, no comment. The poop emoji, played by Sir Patrick Poopert, Sir Pooptrick Stewart. And that's all the jokes I have about that emoji. Fist bump. I only use the fist when I do Pizza Punch 100. That's the pizza emoji, the fist bump, and the keeping it 100 sign. That means cool, thank you, hello, or yes, yes I do. All of us used the dancing lady, the flamenco dancer, extensively. When we first started using emojis, we used that one a lot. Now, it's fallen out of favor to a certain extent. Let's bring flamenco back, right? Justin Timberlake wanted to bring sexy back. I'm looking to bring flamenco back. The heart emoji. Boring. Send hard eyes. Hard eyes with a cat, at least. Hand claps. Are they, or are they merely two hands about to clap, spraying backwards arrows? The lipstick. Care to confuse your alpha male, overly masculine friends? Responding to, yo, wanna get some BBQ dog? DAWG? Just send them the lipstick emoji. See what they do. I've lost a couple of friends that way. Black Santa, finally, the truth. Want to learn about emojis? No, of course not. You already know about them. They're in your phone and you use them. So instead of learning about them, go and be entertained by a unusually inventive major motion picture about emojis. Aptly named The Emoji Movie, so that you know what it's about and that it is a movie. In theaters everywhere, July 28th. This is TT Wee Wee, signing off.
TT Wee Wee, you are awesome. I'm gonna bring flamenco back. That's our show. Thanks to all my guests. Don't forget to grab the Will and Grace issue of Entertainment Weekly on newsstands now and at EW.com. Bye.
Anything else?
You tell me. You're the expert.
Well, if you hold me tight.
Okay.
You hold me tight, especially girls with heels. Yeah. But using the heels for the top of the foot is actually where all the ligaments are. So from here, if you're grabbing me, if someone's holding tight,
okay, I got
top
you.
of the foot.
I got
boom.
you.
And then you would shift your hips.
Uh-huh.
Use that magazine right there.
Oh.